I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Your body is already preparing for sleep right now. Your core temperature is gently dropping. Your muscles releasing tension you didn't even know you were holding. You'll discover what your natural sleep position quietly reveals about your mind, and understand why the body knows things the waking self rarely notices. Welcome to Sleep Science Documentary. Wherever you are right now, perhaps already settled into your favorite position, curled on your side, stretched on your back, or somewhere in between, allow yourself to notice the simple comfort of that choice. We'll journey through 100 psychology facts about sleep positions and the mind, from the hidden language of your nighttime posture to the science of how your body speaks while you rest, to what it all quietly means for who you are. This thoughtful journey through sleep and the self builds bridges between searching minds. Your gentle support, a like, a subscribe, or a quiet share, creates a pathway for more curious souls to discover this sanctuary, and brings us closer to protecting this peaceful space. One quiet tap, one sleepy soul at a time. Your healing journey inspires ours. Let yourself settle completely here. Feel your jaw unclench, your breath deepen naturally. You can let these thoughts drift past without holding them. Sense that soothing heaviness enveloping you, like your consciousness slowly dimming its brightness. Thoughts dissolving into the peaceful fog of approaching sleep, safe and undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. You're floating where memories rest safely in gentle darkness. Let your mind merge with infinite peace. And now we begin. Your sleep position is one of the most personal choices you make each night, and you barely notice you're making it. Most people settle into the same basic posture night after night, a quiet habit formed over years, sometimes decades. Researchers who study sleep behavior have found that the majority of adults have a dominant sleep position they return to within minutes of lying down, even after shifting during the night. This preference isn't random. It's shaped by a combination of your body's physical needs, your nervous system's habitual patterns, and something subtler, the emotional landscape of your inner life. Tonight, we explore what that quiet choice might gently reveal. The study of sleep positions sits at a fascinating intersection of medicine, psychology, and behavioral science. Sleep researchers use a combination of polysomnography, which records brain waves, breathing, and movement during sleep, alongside video analysis and self-report surveys to understand how people naturally position themselves through the night. What they've found is that while we shift position many times during sleep, typically between 10 and 40 times per night, we tend to begin and end sleep in positions that feel instinctively right to us. That starting and ending posture is where much of the meaning lives. There are 6 positions that sleep researchers most commonly study. The fetal position, curled on the side with knees drawn toward the chest. The log position, lying on the side with arms down and body straight. The Yerna position, on the side with arms extended forward. The soldier position, flat on the back with arms at the sides. The starfish position, on the back with arms raised near the head. And the free fall position, lying face down with arms around the pillow. Each carries its own physiological profile, and each has been associated, loosely, gently, with certain personality tendencies. We'll explore all of them tonight. The fetal position is the most popular sleep posture in the world. Studies consistently find that more than 40% of adults favor some version of it. Curled inward, knees bent, body turned to one side. Women report sleeping in the fetal position more often than men, though the reasons for this are not entirely clear. What researchers do note is that the fetal position mirrors the body's natural resting state before birth. There's something almost instinctive about it. The body curling around its own center, creating a small protected space in the darkness. From a purely physiological standpoint, sleeping on your side is considered by many sleep medicine specialists to be among the most beneficial positions for most people. It reduces the likelihood of snoring by keeping the airway open, supports spinal alignment when a pillow of appropriate thickness is used, and may assist with the brain's natural waste-clearing process. The glymphatic system, a network that flushes metabolic waste from the brain, appears to function most efficiently during sleep. And animal model research suggests that side-lying positions may support this process more effectively than lying flat on the back or face down. Whether this holds true in humans, in exactly the same way, is something researchers are still carefully exploring. So the body curled on its side may be doing more than resting. It may be quietly tending to itself. Sleep researchers first described the glymphatic pathway in 2013. One of the more quietly significant findings in modern neuroscience. During sleep, the space between brain cells expands, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flow more freely and carry away proteins and waste products that accumulate during the waking hours. One of the proteins this process helps to clear is amyloid beta, associated with Alzheimer's disease. Later research showed that this clearance process may be position-dependent, with the lateral, side-lying position appearing to support it more effectively than lying face down or flat on the back. Sleep, it turns out, is not merely rest. It is one of the brain's primary maintenance windows. Side sleepers, as a broad category, tend to report slightly better sleep quality than back or stomach sleepers in several large-scale surveys. They also tend to wake less frequently during the night. Whether this is directly caused by the position, or whether people who sleep well simply prefer their side, is difficult to disentangle. But the consistency of the finding across different populations and countries suggests something real is happening. The body, it seems, finds a certain quiet efficiency in lying curled on its side, one knee slightly ahead of the other, the spine in its gentle S-curve. Now, a soft note before we go further. The personality associations connected to sleep positions are among the more evocative findings in sleep psychology, and also among the more carefully qualified ones. Researchers are quick to point out that these associations are tendencies, not definitive portraits. The correlations are gentle and probabilistic, not deterministic. Sleep position is one small thread in the complex fabric of personality. What makes these findings interesting is not that they predict who you are with certainty, but that they offer a quiet mirror, a gentle invitation to reflect. People who sleep in the fetal position are often described in psychological surveys as presenting a composed exterior while being sensitive within. In one widely shared survey on sleep positions and personality, fetal sleepers were found to be the most common type. tending toward introversion and a tendency to reflect deeply on experience. More recent personality research using the Big Five model has explored these connections with more nuance, finding modest correlations between curl tendency and higher scores in conscientiousness and openness to experience. As with all such findings, these are gentle patterns rather than firm conclusions, worth noticing, not worth judging. So here is a first gentle thesis for tonight's journey. Your sleep position is not merely a physical preference. It is a meeting point between your body's needs, your nervous system's habits, and perhaps something about the emotional patterns that run quietly beneath the surface of your daily life. By fact 10, we've already glimpsed something worth carrying forward. That the way you arrange yourself in the dark may be one of the most honest self-portraits you never consciously paint. The body tells its own kind of truth when the thinking mind is finally still. The log position, lying on one side with the body straight and arms resting along the sides, is favored by approximately 15% of sleepers in most surveys. Log sleepers tend to be described as social, easy-going, and trusting, sometimes to the point of being seen as somewhat open-handed by others. They are comfortable with people, comfortable with conversation, and tend to move through life with a kind of relaxed openness. Whether the straight, unguarded posture reflects an inner sense of safety, or whether feeling safe allows the body to straighten and open, is one of those beautifully circular questions that sleep science hasn't fully resolved. The Yerna position, lying on the side with arms extended forward, as if reaching for something just out of reach, carries its own interesting associations. Yerna sleepers are often characterized as open-minded and willing to try new things, but also as somewhat cautious and slow to make decisions. Once they do commit to a belief or a person, however, they tend to hold firmly. There's something quietly poetic about the posture itself. Arms extended into the dark, reaching and waiting at the same time. It's the posture of someone still searching, even in sleep. The soldier position, lying flat on the back, arms at the sides, body straight and still, accounts for roughly 8% of sleepers. Those who sleep this way are often described as quiet, reserved, and self-disciplined. They tend to hold themselves and others to high standards. The position itself is precisely structured, symmetrical, and contained, which mirrors something about the personality tendencies researchers have loosely associated with it. Back sleeping also comes with its own physiological profile. It can increase the likelihood of snoring and, in some individuals, worsen sleep apnea by allowing the tongue and soft tissues to fall back toward the airway. Sleep apnea is worth pausing on for a moment, because it connects sleep position to something medically meaningful. Obstructive sleep apnea occurs when the upper airway collapses repeatedly during sleep, causing brief interruptions in breathing that fragment sleep quality and reduce oxygen levels. It is estimated to affect close to 1 billion adults worldwide, with many cases remaining undiagnosed. One of the more quietly common conditions in sleep medicine. Position plays a role. For many people, sleep apnea is noticeably more pronounced when lying on the back. Sleeping on the side can reduce the frequency and severity of these episodes, which is why positional adjustments are sometimes explored as part of care. The starfish position, lying on the back with arms raised near the head, elbows bent outward, is among the least common sleep postures, practiced by approximately 5% of people. Starfish sleepers are generally described as generous and willing to listen. They tend to make excellent friends, the kind who remember details, who show up when needed, who offer help without being asked. The open, spread posture, arms up, body exposed, suggests a kind of unconscious ease, a willingness to take up space without apology. There is something warm and unhurried about it. The free fall position, lying face down with arms around the pillow and head turned to one side, is practiced by about 7% of sleepers. It is also, from a physiological standpoint, the most complicated. Stomach sleeping places strain on the neck, since the head must remain turned to one side throughout the night. It can also create tension in the lower back by flattening the lumbar curve. Freefall sleepers are often characterized as bold, sociable, and direct, but also prone to feeling quietly overwhelmed by criticism, more sensitive beneath the confident exterior than their outward manner might suggest. The held, curled posture of free-fall sleeping may gently reflect something of this more guarded inner nature. One of the more nuanced findings in sleep position research is that many people don't fit cleanly into a single category. We are combination sleepers, starting in one position, drifting through others, and settling into a final posture by morning. What researchers tend to focus on is the position people most frequently begin sleep in, and the one they're found in upon waking. These bookend positions seem to carry the most personality-relevant information, perhaps because they represent the body's honest baseline at the moments of highest vulnerability, the moments of letting go, and the moments of returning. Sleep position also changes across the lifespan. Infants are placed on their backs for safety reasons. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends back sleeping to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. Young children often sleep in elaborate, sprawling positions that suggest an unconscious ease with taking up space. As we move through adolescence and into adulthood, sleep positions tend to consolidate into more consistent patterns. Older adults often sleep in more restricted positions due to joint pain, reduced mobility, or the presence of conditions like acid reflux that make certain postures uncomfortable. The body's sleep language changes as the body itself changes. Pregnancy dramatically reshapes sleep position. By the third trimester, sleeping on the back becomes uncomfortable and potentially problematic. The weight of the uterus can compress the inferior vena cava, the large vein that returns blood from the lower body to the heart, potentially reducing circulation to both mother and baby. Left side sleeping is generally recommended during pregnancy, and most pregnant women find themselves naturally migrating in this direction as the pregnancy progresses. The body, in this case, makes its positional wisdom felt without consultation. Pain plays a powerful role in shaping sleep positions that we might not consciously recognize. People with chronic lower back pain often find relief in the fetal position, where the slight forward bend of the hips decompresses certain lumbar structures. Those with hip pain may find side sleeping on the unaffected side more comfortable. People with shoulder injuries tend to avoid lying on the affected shoulder. Over time, these pain-driven adjustments can become habitual. so that even after pain has resolved, the adapted position remains. The body remembers its accommodations long after the original reason has faded. There is a quieter, more psychological dimension to how pain and sleep position interact. Research in health psychology suggests that people who are coping with significant emotional distress, grief, anxiety, or prolonged stress often show changes in their habitual sleep positions. Some curl more tightly inward. Some find it harder to relax into any position, shifting more frequently and waking with a sense of incompleteness. The body's nighttime restlessness, when it appears, is sometimes a reflection of the mind's daytime burden. Sleep position is not just anatomy. It's also autobiography. Partners who share a bed have an additional layer of sleep position complexity. In one study of over 1,000 couples, the distance between partners during sleep was found to correlate meaningfully with relationship satisfaction. Couples who sleep in close contact, touching or within an inch of each other, reported significantly higher relationship satisfaction than those who sleep further apart. This doesn't mean distance signals unhappiness in every case, but the pattern was consistent enough to be worth noticing. Even in sleep, the body seeks or maintains emotional proximity. The direction one faces during side sleeping also carries some interesting associations. People who sleep facing their partner tend to report feeling more emotionally connected, while those who sleep back-to-back report feeling independent but still secure. What sleep researchers sometimes call a posture of closeness without direct engagement. The body maintains contact through minimal touch, while both individuals face their own space. Those who sleep facing away with no contact are more likely to report feeling less connected, though this is a tendency, not a rule. The sleeping body negotiates its emotional geography in the dark. Sleep position and dreaming are also loosely connected in ways researchers are still exploring. Some small studies have suggested that right-side sleepers report more positive dreams, while left-side sleepers may experience slightly more vivid content, though these findings are preliminary and not yet replicated at large scale. These connections between sleep position and dream content remain among the less well-studied areas of sleep science, and the observations so far are suggestive rather than definitive. The body's orientation in space may subtly shape the inner landscape of the dreaming mind, or it may reflect other factors entirely. The dreaming mind keeps some of its secrets. And here, at Fact 25, we pause to acknowledge the thread we've been following. Sleep position is not merely posture. It is a quiet convergence of physiology, habit, psychology, and lived experience. The body arranges itself each night according to rules that are partly mechanical, partly emotional, and partly mysterious. We've explored the 6 main positions, their physical profiles, and their gentle personality associations. We've touched on how pain, pregnancy, partnership, and age all shape the sleeping body. And we've glimpsed the first hint of a larger truth, that the sleeping self is always, in some way, continuing the conversation the waking self began. Let's pause here and notice your body. As you breathe out slowly, appreciate each tiny cell inside. Trillions of organisms working in silence. Heart beating, lungs breathing, brain thinking, all without your command. Notice the gentle sensations on your skin, in your muscles, along your spine. Perhaps your back is resting against something soft. Perhaps your knees are gently bent. Perhaps your hands have found a natural place to lie. You are already in your sleep position. Your body already knows what it needs tonight. You are a complete ecosystem, diverse, self-balancing. Now we continue. The science of sleep architecture helps us understand why position matters across the whole night, not just at the beginning. Sleep moves through cycles of approximately 90 minutes each, with each cycle containing distinct stages: light sleep, deep slow wave sleep, and REM, rapid eye movement sleep, where most vivid dreaming occurs. Adults typically complete 4 to 6 of these cycles per night. Position influences these cycles indirectly by affecting breathing, by creating or reducing physical comfort, and by influencing how easily the body transitions between stages. A position that causes discomfort will trigger more shifts and micro-awakenings, subtly affecting overall sleep quality. The relationship between sleep position and breathing is one of the most clinically meaningful connections in sleep medicine. The airway is a flexible tube, and its openness depends partly on the orientation of the body. When lying on the back, gravity works against the airway, pulling the soft palate and the base of the tongue downward toward the throat. This is why back sleeping is so strongly associated with snoring and sleep apnea. The side-lying body, by contrast, keeps the airway in a more naturally open configuration. Gravity, in this case, is working with the body rather than against it. Acid reflux, or gastroesophageal reflux disease, known as GERD, is another condition meaningfully influenced by sleep position. When lying flat, stomach acid can more easily move upward into the esophagus, elevating the head of the bed by a few inches, or sleeping on the left side can reduce reflux episodes during sleep. The stomach's anatomy is partly responsible. Lying on the left side positions the stomach's opening below the level of its contents, making upward flow less likely. This is a case where sleep position functions as genuine care, not a metaphor, but a measurable shift in comfort. Left-side sleeping is increasingly recognized as supportive for multiple systems simultaneously. In addition to reducing acid reflux, it is the recommended position during pregnancy, as we noted earlier, and certain research suggests it may support the body's glymphatic clearance process. The left side has become, in certain circles of sleep medicine, something of a quietly favored position, practical and aligned with the body's internal architecture in multiple ways. As with all positional guidance, individual variation matters. What works gently for most may need adjustment for some. Yet the body rarely stays still for an entire night, regardless of preferred position. The number of position changes during sleep varies widely between individuals, typically ranging from 10 to 40 per night. These shifts serve important functions. They prevent prolonged pressure on any single area of the body, which reduces the risk of discomfort upon waking. They allow muscles and joints to move through their range, preventing stiffness. And they represent the natural choreography of sleep. The body in quiet, unconscious motion, adjusting, redistributing, continually tending to itself through the long hours of darkness. Going deeper into what we touched on earlier, research published in the Journal of Neuroscience explored glymphatic transport in animal models and found that the lateral, side-lying position produced more efficient clearance of waste products from the brain than either prone or supine positions. The reasons for this are not yet fully understood in humans, but may relate to the effects of gravity on fluid flow through the brain's perivascular spaces. Human studies exploring this are ongoing and complex, but the early signals are consistent. The side-lying body may be offering the brain something it particularly benefits from through the night. The connection between sleep position and cognitive health over a lifetime is one of the more thoughtful emerging areas in sleep neuroscience. Researchers are exploring whether habitual sleep position across many years might influence the accumulation of amyloid beta and tau proteins, both associated with Alzheimer's disease and related conditions. This is early-stage research, and no causal relationship has been established in humans. But the possibility that something as gentle as which side you sleep on might carry long-term implications for brain health is both fascinating and humbling. The body's quiet nightly choices may compound across a lifetime in ways we are only beginning to understand. Sleep position affects not only the brain's clearing processes but also its blood flow. When lying flat, blood flow to the brain is more evenly distributed than when sitting upright. Different positions alter this distribution subtly. The brain, despite representing only about 2% of body weight, receives approximately 15 to 20% of the heart's total output. During sleep, this flow is maintained and even slightly increased in some regions during certain sleep stages. The sleeping brain is not a quieted brain. It is a brain in full metabolic activity, processing the day's experiences, consolidating memories, and maintaining its own complex housekeeping. Memory consolidation, one of sleep's most important functions, occurs across all sleep stages, but different types of memories rely on different stages. Declarative memory, the memory of facts and events, is primarily consolidated during slow-wave deep sleep. Procedural memory, the memory of skills, habits, and sequences, is consolidated in part during REM sleep. Emotional memories are also processed during REM, where the brain appears to work through the emotional weight of experiences while preserving their content. This is one reason why sleep deprivation affects emotional regulation so noticeably. The nightly processing that would normally soften difficult memories simply doesn't occur. Sleep position can influence how well this consolidation occurs by influencing the quality and architecture of sleep itself. Any position that increases arousals, brief awakenings too short to remember, will fragment the sleep cycle and disrupt the deep and REM stages where consolidation is most active. People who sleep in uncomfortable positions, or who are woken repeatedly by partner snoring or their own reflux or discomfort, are effectively missing portions of the memory consolidation process each night. Over time, this has measurable effects on learning, emotional processing, and cognitive function. Position matters not only for the body, but for the mind's own maintenance work. The psychology of sleep position also intersects with attachment theory. The framework developed by John Bowlby and later expanded by Mary Ainsworth to describe how early relationship experiences shape our patterns of intimacy and closeness throughout life. Some sleep researchers and psychotherapists have speculated that the way adults arrange their bodies during sleep may reflect, in subtle ways, their attachment orientation. Those with secure attachment may sleep in more open, relaxed postures. Those with anxious attachment may curl more tightly. Those with avoidant attachment may maintain more contained sleeping positions. These connections are theoretical rather than robustly empirical, but they offer a thoughtful and gentle lens. Attachment patterns, established in early childhood through the quality of care we received, continue to influence adult behavior in ways both conscious and unconscious. They shape how comfortable we are with closeness, how we handle separation, how we respond to perceived uncertainty. The idea that these patterns might persist into the sleeping body, that the nervous system continues to express its relational history even in the absence of awareness, is not implausible from a neuroscientific standpoint. The body carries its history in its habits, including its sleep habits. The posture we adopt in the dark may be, in some small way, a record of the safety or warmth we learn to expect in early life. Stress and anxiety have well-documented effects on sleep quality. Under everyday stress, the accumulated weight of a difficult week, people often report shifting position more frequently through the night, finding it harder to stay still. The body under mild chronic tension tends to express that tension in motion rather than stillness, searching for a comfort it can't quite settle into. High stress increases cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, which promotes arousal and makes it harder to maintain deep sleep. Over time, this creates a subtle but real disruption in the body's sleep choreography. Conversely, people in states of emotional safety and relational security tend to sleep in more open, relaxed positions. Research on sleep in couples following periods of emotional connection, meaningful conversation, physical closeness, expressions of care, shows that both partners tend to sleep with fewer arousals and more restful body language in the nights that follow. The emotional environment of the day shapes the physical environment of the night. This is one reason why the quality of our relationships functions as a genuine contributor to sleep quality, not just metaphorically, but measurably. And here, at Fact 40, a second quiet thesis emerges. Sleep position sits at the intersection of the physical and the psychological in ways that are deeply, genuinely interconnected. The body arranges itself in sleep according to its own needs, its breath, its digestion, its comfort, its temperature, but also according to something subtler: the nervous system's history, the emotional residue of the day, the relational patterns laid down years, sometimes decades, ago. Position is body and mind at once. It is physiology and autobiography held together in the dark, without words, without awareness. Just the quiet arrangement of a self at rest. You're still here with me, thoughts still flickering like candlelight. Just notice. Don't judge. Just notice where your mind is. We're exploring consciousness itself, the very thing doing the exploring right now. And perhaps you're already in your sleep position. Perhaps your body has already found what it needs tonight. Strange, beautiful, and perfectly calm. If this journey is bringing you peace, a gentle like or subscribe helps other tired minds find their way here too. Let's drift onward together. The circadian rhythm. The body's internal 24-hour clock plays a profound role in shaping not just when we sleep, but how we sleep, governed by the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a small cluster of neurons in the hypothalamus. The circadian clock responds primarily to light and darkness. As darkness falls, it signals the pineal gland to release melatonin, the hormone that initiates the transition towards sleep. This shift doesn't just make us drowsy. It changes the body's temperature regulation, reduces muscle tone, and alters blood pressure in ways that collectively prepare the body for its nightly restoration. Body temperature is one of the more precise regulators of sleep position comfort. The body's core temperature fluctuates by roughly 2 degrees Fahrenheit across the night, a shift that is actively orchestrated by the brain as part of sleep. Cooler extremities help facilitate this core cooling. People who feel too warm tend to sprawl, taking up more surface area, exposing more skin to cool air. People who feel cold tend to curl, reducing the body's surface area and conserving heat. Sleep position, in this light, is partly a thermal management response. The body is always quietly solving the temperature equation, even in sleep. The relationship between temperature and sleep quality is consistent and clinically meaningful. Studies show that sleeping in an environment that is too warm noticeably reduces slow-wave deep sleep and increases nighttime awakenings. For most adults, a bedroom temperature somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit tends to support the most restful sleep, cool enough to work with the body's natural cooling process rather than against it. Older adults may find a slightly warmer range equally comfortable. Individual preference varies, and there is no single temperature that is right for everyone. The body knows its own comfort, given the chance to find it. Mattress and pillow design interact with sleep position in ways that sleep scientists and specialists have studied carefully. A mattress that is too firm for a side sleeper will create pressure points at the shoulder and hip, leading to frequent position changes and lighter sleep. A mattress that is too soft for a back sleeper will allow the lumbar spine to sink into a position that creates morning stiffness. The ideal sleeping surface is position-specific, which is why the mattress that feels right to one person may be entirely wrong for another. The body's relationship with the surface beneath it is an ongoing, nightly conversation. Pillow height, technically called loft, is equally position-specific. Side sleepers typically benefit from a higher loft pillow that fills the space between the ear and the mattress, keeping the cervical spine aligned. Back sleepers tend to do better with a lower loft, preventing the head from being pushed too far forward. Stomach sleepers, if they sleep in this position, generally find a very thin pillow or no pillow at all the most comfortable. Using the wrong pillow for one's sleep position is one of the most common and easily adjusted sources of morning neck discomfort and headaches. The role of the pillow in sleep goes beyond physical support. Psychologically, many people have a strong attachment to a specific pillow, a preference that begins in early childhood and persists into adulthood. The familiar scent of one's own pillow may play a role in signaling safety and familiarity to the nervous system. Studies on olfactory cues during sleep have found that familiar. Pleasant scents can reduce arousal and improve sleep continuity. The beloved pillow, in this light, is not merely a comfort object. It is a genuine signal of safety, recognized by the body before the mind is even aware. Sleep position preferences can shift following significant life transitions. Grief, in particular, has been associated with changes in sleep posture. People who have recently lost a partner often report sleeping in the same position they always occupied, sometimes for years, as if the body continues to map the presence of the other, even in absence. Others find themselves migrating to new positions, particularly toward the center of a bed that once felt shared. Researchers studying grief and sleep have noted that the disruption to positional routines adds a physical dimension to emotional loss that is rarely discussed but deeply felt. Sleep position research has expanded in recent years to include cultural dimensions. Studies comparing sleep positions across different environments have found notable variations. People who sleep on futons close to the floor, common in traditional Japanese households, report different positional patterns than those sleeping in elevated beds. People who share sleeping surfaces with multiple family members, a common arrangement in many parts of the world, sleep differently than those who sleep alone. Sleep position is not just individual. It is also culturally shaped, embedded in the architecture of the sleeping environment and the social customs around rest itself. Technology is reshaping how we understand sleep position in real time. Consumer wearables, smartwatches, fitness bands, and dedicated sleep trackers now offer position tracking through accelerometer data, giving people access to information about their nighttime movements that was previously only available in sleep laboratory settings. This wider access to sleep data is producing larger, more diverse datasets that researchers are beginning to use to explore sleep position patterns across different populations. The person lying in bed with a fitness tracker on their wrist is, in a quiet way, participating in an ongoing collective exploration of what human sleep looks like around the world. At the halfway point in our journey tonight, the picture is becoming clearer. Sleep position is not one thing. It is a braided thread of physiology, psychology, culture, history, and quiet wisdom accumulated across a lifetime. The body in sleep is not inert. It is active, managing, choosing, expressing every shift, every curl, every sprawl is an act of the body caring for itself, speaking in the language it knows most honestly. Halfway through our journey, the answer is beginning to form. Your sleep position is, in some sense, a portrait of your whole self, the needs, the habits, the history, the heart of you. And imagine, even when everything seems empty, the space inside you is never truly empty. Imagine the space inside your own body, between cells, between thoughts, between breaths, the space between one heartbeat and the next. You're floating on something soft and still. And beneath that, beneath all of it, there is always a gentle current. Your body knows exactly where it is tonight. It has arranged itself with quiet intelligence. There is nothing to correct, nothing to fix. You are exactly where you need to be. Now we continue the journey. The science of chronotypes. our individual tendencies toward morning or evening wakefulness also intersects with sleep position research in quiet ways. Evening chronotypes, commonly called night owls, tend to accumulate more sleep debt across the work week and may experience what researchers call social jet lag, the mismatch between biological sleep timing and socially structured schedules. This chronic misalignment affects not just when they sleep, but how deeply. And the quality of the positional choices the body makes may be subtly influenced when sleep occurs at the wrong circadian time. Morning chronotypes. Early birds tend to enter deep, slow-wave sleep more quickly after lying down. Their bodies appear more ready at conventional bedtimes, and their sleep positions stabilize faster. The body in chronological alignment moves towards stillness with less negotiation. There's something peaceful in this. The body and the clock agreeing with each other, settling into the dark in easy unison. Neuroscience research using functional MRI has shown that the brain during sleep is not uniformly quiet. Certain networks remain active, including the default mode network, which is associated with self-referential thought, imagination, and memory retrieval. During certain sleep stages, particularly the transition into REM, this network shows patterns of activity that resemble wakeful reflection. The sleeping brain continues, in some sense, to think about the self, to process, to quietly tend the stories it carries. The default mode network's activity during sleep may help explain why mornings often bring a clarity about situations that seemed tangled the night before. The sleeping brain, freed from the demands of sensory input and behavioral control, can work on unresolved material with a kind of relaxed attention that waking thought rarely achieves. The old wisdom of sleeping on a difficult decision is, it turns out, grounded in something real. The night has its own intelligence. Dreaming, which occurs primarily during REM sleep, is one of the more gently mysterious aspects of the sleeping mind. Current neuroscientific understanding views dreaming as a product of the brain's own activity, generated from within rather than received from outside. The visual cortex activates. The motor system is largely suppressed, and the prefrontal cortex, associated with logical reasoning and self-monitoring, becomes relatively quiet. In this altered state, the brain constructs experiences that feel entirely real, complete with narrative, emotion, and sensory detail, from the materials of memory and imagination. The emotional content of dreams is one of their more meaningful features. Research in sleep neuroscience has demonstrated that dreams frequently revisit emotionally weighted material from waking life, particularly experiences that have not yet been fully processed. Stressful events, unresolved tensions, and significant losses tend to appear in dreams in transformed, often symbolic form. The dreaming brain seems to be working through something, not just replaying, but processing, gently metabolizing the emotional weight of experience. Sleep position, by influencing how much and how well we dream, may subtly shape this nightly emotional process. Lucid dreaming, the awareness that one is dreaming while the dream is still occurring, is a real and well-documented phenomenon that has been experimentally verified. In a lucid dream, the dreamer maintains some degree of conscious self-awareness and, in some cases, can notice and observe the content of the dream. Lucid dreaming tends to occur most frequently during the longer REM periods of the second half of the night, when REM sleep is most abundant. Some researchers estimate that roughly half of people experience at least one lucid dream in their lifetime, with about a fifth experiencing them with some regularity. The question of whether different sleep positions favor lucid dreaming is one that has attracted interest but limited rigorous study. Some self-reports suggest that lying on the back may be associated with a slightly higher likelihood of lucid dreaming, possibly because back sleeping can be linked to longer REM periods in some individuals. Whether the position is causal or merely correlated with other factors that favor this kind of awareness remains unclear. The dreaming mind, in this, as in many things, keeps some of its own counsel. Nightmares. Vivid, unsettling dreams that can cause awakening are more common than many people realize. Research suggests that the majority of people experience them occasionally, with a smaller proportion experiencing them frequently. Nightmares are most common during REM sleep and tend to cluster in the second half of the night, when REM periods are longest. Position may play a role. There is some evidence that back sleeping, by facilitating longer and more intense REM periods, may be associated with more vivid nighttime experiences in some individuals, though this connection varies considerably between people. Post-traumatic stress is strongly associated with sleep difficulties, including disturbing dreams, trouble falling into rest, and altered sleep position preferences. People working through significant trauma often report finding it harder to lie in more open or exposed positions, particularly on the back, and may gravitate instead toward postures that create a felt sense of protection. The body, in these cases, is not being difficult. It is doing what it has always done, arranging itself according to what the nervous system needs in order to feel safe enough to rest. The intersection of sleep science and trauma-informed care is a thoughtful and growing field. Clinicians working alongside trauma survivors are increasingly attentive to sleep, environment, and position as part of overall care. Simple, gentle adjustments. Weighted blankets that provide deep pressure, allowing clients to choose their preferred sleeping orientation without judgment. Attending to environmental safety can meaningfully support the nervous system's gradual return toward a more settled baseline. The sleeping body's wisdom, when honored and given space, becomes part of the process of healing. Weighted blankets deserve a moment of scientific attention. Research has found that deep pressure stimulation, the kind provided by a heavier blanket, activates the parasympathetic nervous system and is associated with increases in serotonin and melatonin while reducing cortisol. In studies involving people with anxiety, autism spectrum differences, and trauma-related difficulties, weighted blankets have been associated with reduced arousal, improved sleep onset, and a greater felt sense of calm and safety. The weight, pressing gently and evenly on the body, sends a signal of groundedness that the nervous system recognizes and responds to. Touch, more broadly, is one of the body's primary languages of safety. The skin contains a vast network of sensory receptors, including C-tactile afferents, a class of nerve fiber specifically tuned to respond to gentle, slow, caressing touch in a way that activates social and bonding circuits of the brain. These fibers are found throughout the skin's hairy surface, The arms, the back, the neck, woven into the body's quiet language of comfort. When the body is in contact with something soft, warm, and gently pressured during sleep, these fibers may contribute to the feeling of deep safety that supports restful sleep. Body pillows. Long pillows designed to be held or rested against during sleep have gained quiet attention in sleep research. Holding something against the front of the body during sleep may activate some of the same comfort pathways that partner contact activates. For people who sleep alone and notice a sense of physical solitude during the night, a body pillow may offer a modest but real neurological consolation. The body's systems responding to the gentle presence of something warm and solid alongside it. We now understand something deeper about sleep position and the nervous system than researchers articulated even a decade ago. Position is not just preference. It is a whole-body expression of the nervous system's current state. A nervous system that feels safe opens. A nervous system that feels uncertain tends to close. And the sleeping body, without language or consciousness to moderate it, expresses this state with simple, honest physicality, curling or stretching, closing or opening, turning toward or turning away. Position is the body's honest report on the felt sense of safety in the world. The felt sense, a term developed by philosopher and psychologist Eugene Gendlin, refers to the body's own vague, holistic sense of a situation, problem, or experience. It is pre-verbal, often pre-conscious, and tends to carry more information than we can yet articulate. The felt sense of safety that a sleep position either creates or reflects is one of the clearest examples of this concept in everyday life. We often can't say why we feel right in one position and not another. We just know. The body knows. Sleep researchers have begun exploring the concept of sleep as a form of somatic memory, the body's way of encoding and revisiting physically held experience. Just as difficult experiences can be held in muscle tension and postural habit, positive and safe experiences can also be encoded in the body. Repeated experiences of waking in a comfortable, safe position after restful sleep may gradually reinforce the nervous system's baseline sense of security, building, night by night, a kind of bodily trust in the process of rest itself. Somatic approaches to care, including somatic experiencing, sensory-motor therapy, and body-centered practices, place meaningful emphasis on position and movement as carriers of psychological information. Sleep, from this perspective, is a nightly somatic practice, an extended time during which the body takes its own position, follows its own wisdom, and processes its own experience without interference from the thinking mind. Honoring this process, allowing it rather than directing it, may be one of the simplest and most profound forms of self-care available to any of us. There is a growing awareness in sleep medicine toward individualized approaches, moving away from one-size-fits-all recommendations toward more personalized guidance that accounts for individual chronotype, body type, health considerations, and psychological profile. Positional recommendations are increasingly being tailored. Rather than simply advising everyone to sleep on their side, clinicians are exploring which specific adjustments offer benefit for specific individuals, and how to help people make those changes without creating new anxieties around sleep. The message is gentle. Work with your body, not against it. Mindfulness-based approaches to sleep, including mindfulness-based cognitive therapy for insomnia, have shown promising results in clinical studies. These approaches invite people to bring non-judgmental awareness to the experience of lying in bed, including the physical sensations of their sleep position. Rather than struggling to force the body into a specific posture, mindfulness approaches encourage a quality of gentle curiosity, noticing where the body is, how it feels, what it needs, and allowing that awareness itself to become the path toward rest. Progressive muscle relaxation, a technique developed by Edmund Jacobson in the early 20th century, is one of the most well-supported behavioral approaches to sleep onset. It involves deliberately tensing and then releasing muscle groups throughout the body, typically beginning at the feet and moving upward. The process teaches the body to recognize the contrast between tension and release, making it easier to find deep relaxation. Many practitioners find that the final moments of the body scan, when they are invited simply to notice their natural resting position, are among the calmest of the day. There is something worth pausing to appreciate about the fact that the science of sleep, a field that has grown so much in the last 3 decades, keeps pointing back to the wisdom the body already carries. The body knows to seek warmth when cold and space when warm. It knows to protect itself when uncertain and to open when safe. It knows to clear waste, consolidate memory, and process emotion, all while the conscious mind is entirely elsewhere. Sleep science doesn't teach the body anything new. It learns, humbly and with wonder, what the body has always been doing. The parasympathetic nervous system, sometimes called the rest and digest branch, is the biological system most active during restful sleep. When it is present, the heart rate slows, the breath deepens and steadies, digestion is supported, and the body enters the regenerative mode that sleep requires. The degree to which the parasympathetic system can take over during sleep depends partly on how fully the sympathetic system, the alert branch, has been allowed to quiet by the end of the day. Sleep position that creates comfort rather than discomfort supports this shift. The comfortable body lets go more completely. Heart rate variability, abbreviated HRV, is one of the more useful physiological markers for assessing autonomic nervous system balance and sleep quality. It measures the variation in time between heartbeats, which reflects how fluidly the nervous system moves between its different states. Higher HRV during sleep is associated with better recovery and generally higher quality rest. Research has found that sleep position influences HRV subtly. Side sleeping tends to produce slightly more favorable HRV patterns than back sleeping in many people, though individual variation is significant and personal. At Fact 75, the intellectual core of tonight's journey has come fully into view. Your sleep position reflects something about you, not through mystical correspondence, but through the honest language of the body's own intelligence. It reflects your thermal needs and your airway anatomy, your pain history and your emotional habits, your nervous system's current sense of safety. By this point in the night, you understand that sleep position is simultaneously practical and profound. It is the body's autobiography, written in the dark, one quiet night at a time. You might be feeling tired now. That's perfectly fine. Breathe slowly. Feel the cycles. your breath moves in and out. Your heart expands and releases. Your nervous system rises and rests. Like the tides, like the seasons, everything you are cycles through. The body you are resting in right now has been breathing for every moment of your life. It has never forgotten how. You don't need to hold on to anything tonight. Let everything unfold in its perfect order. We're almost there now. The last quarter of the night is when REM sleep is most abundant. Dreams become longer, more narrative, more emotionally layered. The sleeping mind, approaching the far shores of the night, does some of its most vivid processing here. And the body, perhaps having found its most comfortable position in the small hours, rests in a kind of still, earned repose. Researchers who study sleep across the lifespan find a quiet wisdom in how sleep changes with age. Infants sleep deeply and long. Children dream vividly. Adolescents shift late into the evening hours. Adults gradually consolidate. Older adults sleep lighter, but often rest more easily during the day. At each stage, the body finds its own way, the pattern of sleep shifting to match the needs of the self it carries. Sleep position preferences in older adults often reflect decades of habit. The body has rehearsed its nighttime arrangements thousands of times. The posture that felt instinctive at 30 may have become something deeply familiar by 60. Not because it's the optimal position for every system, but because it carries the accumulated comfort of years. Familiarity itself is a form of safety. There is something quietly moving about the fact that we spend approximately 1/3 of our lives in sleep. For an average person living to 80 years, that is close to 27 years of horizontal rest. 27 years of the body tending to itself in the dark, processing the residue of waking life, restoring what the day has used. Sleep is not a break from living. It is the quiet half of it. The science of sleep continues to expand. Each decade brings new findings. The glymphatic system, the role of specific sleep stages in immune function, the connections between sleep and emotional regulation, the growing understanding of how early life sleep shapes neural development. We are still, in many ways, at the beginning of understanding what sleep does. The body has been sleeping for as long as life has existed. Science is still, gently, catching up. In the quiet architecture of a sleep position, there is a kind of poetry. The fetal curl holds a story of protection. The yearner's extended arms tell of reaching and patience. The soldier's straight lines speak of discipline and self-containment. The starfish's openness suggests a generous ease. The body in sleep is always saying something, in the language it knows most honestly. And perhaps this is one of the gentler revelations of sleep science, that the body has its own quiet competence, operating continuously beneath the level of awareness. While the thinking mind plans and narrates, the body breathes, clears, repairs, and processes. The sleeping body is not passive. It is continuously, capably at work, tending to everything the waking self needs in order to begin again tomorrow. The relationship between sleep and creativity has been noted across many fields. Many significant insights in mathematics, in music, in scientific discovery have arrived in the transitional states between sleep and waking. The hypnagogic state, just before sleep, and the hypnopompic state, just before waking, are characterized by loosened associative thinking. These are the moments when the mind makes connections it might resist during full wakefulness. The edge of sleep is fertile territory. Thomas Edison reportedly napped while holding steel balls in his hands, so that as he drifted towards sleep and his hands relaxed, the balls would drop and wake him just as he reached the hypnagogic state, which he found rich with ideas. Whether or not all details of the story are precise, the underlying neuroscience it describes is real. The edge of sleep has long been recognized, in one form or another, as a place where the mind moves differently. Your body's sleep position tonight is, in a small but meaningful way, a summary of everything you are right now. The history your muscles carry, the safety or ease your nervous system is expressing, the temperature of the room and the softness of what you lie upon, the dreams beginning to form at the edges of awareness. All of it, gathered quietly into the posture of a sleeping self. There is a reason people across every culture have created rituals around the moment of lying down. Quiet reflection, gentle breath, the settling of the mind before rest. Bedtime rituals signal to the nervous system that the transition is beginning, that the day is truly over. The body listens to these signals and responds. Ritual prepares the body for its most honest self-expression, sleep. And in that moment of lying down, something quietly important happens. The world outside, its demands, its noise, its pace, begins to recede. The body claims its own time. It arranges itself, not for performance or presentation, but for pure function. The sleeping position is chosen by the body for the body. It is perhaps the most genuinely self-directed act of the day. The neuroscience of sleep continues to confirm that restoration during sleep is not metaphorical. It is literal. Cellular repair occurs. The immune system's activity increases. Hormonal cycles are completed. Proteins are synthesized. The body uses the quiet of sleep to do work that waking life simply doesn't allow. Every night, the sleeping body earns something for the waking self, a replenished supply of the resources that make a life possible. What sleep position reveals about you, ultimately, is not a fixed character portrait. It is a snapshot of a living system, dynamic, responsive, and wise. The position that holds you tonight may be different from the one that holds you in a year, in a decade, after loss or love or healing or change. The body adapts. It always has. Its sleep portrait is always being quietly repainted. So could sleep position truly reveal something about you? The answer, gentle and honest, is yes. Not definitively, not in isolation, but as one quiet thread in the larger fabric of who you are. It speaks. The body at rest is the body at its most honest. And in that honesty, there is something worth listening to. The immune system does some of its most meaningful work during sleep. Certain immune cells, including T cells, central to the adaptive immune response, have been found to become more effective at locating their targets during sleep. Research has documented that sleep supports T cell function in ways that waking rest does not. The sleeping body is not merely resting. it is quietly tending to its own resilience. Growth hormone, essential for tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and metabolic balance, is released primarily during slow-wave deep sleep, and most abundantly in the first deep sleep cycle of the night. This is one reason why sleep deprivation has measurable effects on physical recovery and healing. The hormone follows the architecture of sleep, and when that architecture is fragmented, its release is affected. The body's repair work depends on the quality of the rest it is given. The skin repairs itself most efficiently during sleep. Skin cell turnover rates are higher at night than during the day, driven partly by the hormonal environment of sleep and partly by the reduced need to defend against daytime environmental stresses. The concept of beauty sleep is not merely folk wisdom. The sleeping skin is genuinely more regenerative than the waking skin, the body's outermost surface quietly renewing itself through the hours of darkness. The gut, too, has its own sleep biology. The connection between the gut and the brain, a bidirectional communication pathway, sometimes called the gut-brain axis, is influenced by sleep. Sleep deprivation has been shown to alter the balance of microbial populations in the gut within days, in ways that can affect metabolism, mood, and immune function. Sleep and gut health are more intimately connected than most people realize. Rest, it turns out, nourishes more than the mind. The microbiome, the community of organisms that inhabit the gut and other body surfaces, appears to follow its own daily rhythms, waxing and waning in activity according to the body's circadian pattern. When sleep is disrupted and the circadian rhythm is misaligned, these microbial rhythms are affected as well. The sleeping body is not a single organism. It is an ecosystem. And when that ecosystem is allowed to rest together, something quietly harmonious occurs. By fact 96, the science has brought us somewhere that feels, quietly, like home. Sleep is not a gap in living. It is the ground of it, the place where the body tends to its most fundamental needs, where the mind processes its most essential material, where the self, gently released from its waking performance, simply is. The position you lie in is the body's honest answer to the question, what do I need tonight? And the answer changes. Sometimes, after a difficult day, you may curl more tightly. After a night of warmth and connection, you may sprawl more freely. After healing from something, injury, grief, uncertainty, you may find the body gradually opening again, reclaiming postures it had set aside for a time. The body's sleep position is a living diary, written in the language of the body, updated each night. There is something tender about watching someone sleep. If you've ever had the privilege, the sleeping face releases its social composure. The body sets down its daytime posture of alertness. What remains is something unguarded and genuine, a human being, simply at rest. Sleep science, at its best, extends to this sleeping person the same kind of tender attention. It asks, what does this body need? How can we understand it better? How can we protect this time of deep, essential restoration? The science of sleep is also, ultimately, a science of self-compassion. To understand sleep deeply is to understand how profoundly the body depends on rest, and how much is lost over time when rest is not honored. It is to recognize that the hours spent horizontal are not wasted hours but necessary ones. That lying still is not a small thing but an act of care. Quiet. Essential. Restorative care. Sleep deserves to be taken seriously. And the sleeping self deserves to be held gently. The real answer to what your sleep position reveals about you is this. It reveals that you are alive, a biological being with a nervous system that carries its history, a body that seeks comfort, a mind that needs darkness and time to process what the light has brought. Whatever position you are in right now, curled or open, still or gently shifting, your body is doing what it has always known how to do. It is resting. It is healing. It is caring for itself in the only language it has. And that is enough. And so, our quiet journey through sleep and the self comes to a gentle close. We've traveled from the first, tentative curl of the fetal position to the open, trusting sprawl of the starfish. From the physiology of the airway and the brain's quiet clearing work through the night, to the emotional language the body speaks when no one is watching. We've glimpsed how pain and partnership shape the sleeping body, how the nervous system's history shows up in the angle of a shoulder, the bend of a knee, the way the hands come to rest. And along the way, we've discovered that the sleeping self is always, in some way, the most honest self. Sleep reminds us that the body has its own intelligence, quiet, persistent, and wise. Much of the most important restoration happens in silence, in darkness, in positions we never consciously choose. The sleeping self reveals a patience that waking life rarely allows. Without sleep, the self cannot rebuild. By pausing to notice, we glimpse the extraordinary in the ordinary, in the simple arrangement of a resting body in the dark. In these final minutes, take the deepest breath you can, as deep as possible. Think about unity of every cell, every heartbeat, every quiet breath you've taken tonight. You are not separate from this process. You are it. Think about consciousness itself. Yours. Mine. Everyone listening in their own quiet dark. All of us, in this moment, trusting sleep to hold us. You are not alone in the universe of resting minds. Let your entire being dissolve into the ocean of rest, into the space where thought gives way to simply being. Prepare for deep sleep. No boundaries left. Only peace. If this thoughtful exploration of the sleeping mind brought you peace or helped you relax tonight, a gentle like or subscribe helps other sleepless souls find their way to this quiet place too. It only takes a moment, but it means the world to us. One quiet tap, one sleepy soul at a time. But there's no need to do anything now. Nothing at all. You've traveled far tonight, farther than most journeys take you. You can allow these thoughts of sleep and the self to fade now, like the last light fading from a window at evening, leaving only the quiet, warm dark behind. Let your breathing deepen. Let your body feel heavier, as if the bed itself is gently holding you, the way the earth holds everything that rests upon it, without effort, without end. If sleep comes, let it carry you like a tide turning, smoothly, inevitably. into a place where time and weight no longer matter. If your eyes are still open, the next video is waiting for you, ready to continue the journey. But if they're closed, stay there. Stay in the darkness that feels safe and warm. Tomorrow, the science will still be there. The body will still be carrying its quiet wisdom. But tonight belongs to stillness. Rest well, sleepy soul. And remember, your body already knows exactly what it's doing. It has known all along. Trust it tonight and every night. Good night.